Good morning. Today I am going to start C programming language. But prior to that, we should know that the stages of the hierarchy of programming languages, how this advent from initial to nowadays. Initially, the programming language were used as machine level language, in which mode of instructions were 0 and 1, which is known as binary digits. Afterwards, in second generation, mnemonics were used as instructions, as mode of instruction. And nowadays, in third generation, the mode of instructions became almost English words. And here, the third generation is known as high level language. In high level language, we oftenly use the English words as mode of instruction. Initially, in high level language, three languages came in practice. The number one was BASIC, Beginner's All-Purpose Symbolic Instruction Code. The second one was Fortran, Formula Translation, which is used for scientific jobs. The next one was COBOL, Common Business Oriented Language, which are used for commercial languages. It was thought that to solve multiple jobs, a programmer has to learn multiple languages. Keeping this view in mind, the team of programmers started to find out to develop a language which may suit for all type of jobs. For this very purpose, a team of programmers were busy in Bell Laboratories, USA in 1970s. Today, we can write computer programs using almost English words. In this regard, the team of programmers started job, and in 1970 at Bell Laboratory, a group of programmers were busy to find out a programming language, and they got success. And the language known as BCPL, Basic Combined Programming Language, was developed by them in 1970 at Bell Laboratories. That was good one. The team consisting many programmers. One of its member named Ken Thompson saw that if we do some modifications, then it will be more convenient and useful, and accordingly he did. And whenever the point came to the nomenclature of the language, he thought, since we have inferred the concept from the BCPL, that's why he put the language name as B programming language, which is the first letter of the BCPL. Afterwards, another team member named Dennis Ritchie saw that if this one is slightly modified and updated, this will be more useful and convenient. Also accordingly, and he developed a language which is nowadays we are using. And whenever the point came that what should be the name of the language, he found that since the B language was inferred from BCPL, and I have also inferred from B language, so the parent is BCPL. Accordingly, he put the programming language name as C programming language. C is the second letter of the BCPL. Students, it is a mere coincidence that C comes after B in alphabet. You don't think, since C comes after B in alphabet, that's why the language name is C. Really, the name is C is because the C is the second letter of the BCPL. Students, you were curious to know that the language we are going to learn will operate on which type of platform. In fact, the C language was introduced by American National Standard Institute, ANSI. So the language was termed as ANSI C, which is for the multi-user environment. But it was thought that it is so useful, and the user of multi-user environment are meager in world. So it was later on developed for single-user environment too, with many versions like Quick C, Microsoft C, and Turbo C. In present context, we will learn the Turbo C. Initially, the language was for the multi-user environment known as ANSI C, which has some limitations. So whenever the programmers modified the language and brought for single user environment, there were so many liberations. That's why all the programs written in ANSI C can be easily executed on the a single user environment wherever the programs written in Turbo C or Quick C or Microsoft C can also be executed on multi-user environment with slight changes. That's all.
So we learned that how C programming language started, what are its version. Now we have to learn that what are the prerequisites, so that prior to developing the codes, I mean writing the computer program, what steps we have to do. So initially we draw a flow chart. A flow chart is simply a graphical method of indicating a proposed or actual solution of problem. Often we say a correctly drawn flow chart allows the actual computer programming to be accomplished with much greater ease. So the flow chart helps with the organization of ideas and allows quick recording of ideas on paper in an easy way to follow arrangements. Some designated shapes are available within which we write our idea and connect these shapes with each other with the help of arrow signs. Thus we draw the flow chart. When we complete our flow chart, we proceed to the next requisite, that is development of algorithm. An algorithm is a well-defined computational procedure that takes a value or a set of values as input and produces output. Few characteristics should have algorithm, then we say that algorithm is good. The characteristics may be: number one, the algorithm may get any input but must have some output. Number two, algorithm must be finite, I mean it should terminate after a finite number of steps. Number three, algorithm must be definite, that is, it should not be ambiguous. The next one, the algorithm should be effective, means it must have the basic steps and one more characteristics, that algorithm must be complete and general. The steps of an algorithm should be complete for a class of problems, not for a specific problem. So with these characteristics, a algorithm should be termed as good algorithm. After development of algorithm, we move to the code generation, and the code generation is the computer program writing. We may define the computer program as a procedure expressed in a programming language is known as a computer program. In this step, we use the syntax of a programming language. So the program writing starts from here. Up now it is required to know what are the variables type for which we have to whom we have to process and get output. Where these values will be stored, I mean the memory location, what those termed, that is variables, and how a formula will be constructed, I mean what operator, operand may be used, or how expressions are constructed. So let's take one by one. The values were stored, that is variables. So variables may be defined as the primary storage area a program uses to hold data or value is called a variable. In other words, variables may be defined as memory locations in the computer's memory that hold data. Now, what are the types of data? So, data are classified as simple data type and structured data types. The simple data type consists of integer, real values, I mean float values, and character. And a structured data type consists of arrays, strings, structures, and unions. In simple data type, the integers are also bifurcated as int, which occupies 2 bytes of memory and have a range of minus 32,768 to plus 32,767, whereas long integer, which occupies 4 bytes of memory and has a range of minus 2147483648 to plus 2147483647. These two may be with sign or without sign. For without sign, we have also a type which is termed as unsigned int, unsigned short, which occupies 2 bytes of memory and gives a range of 0 to 65,535, whereas unsigned long int occupies 4 bytes of memory and gives a range of 0 to 4294967295. Likewise, the real values, I mean float data types, are also bifurcated as float or long float, float and long float or double. Long float is also known as double. Float occupies 4 bytes of memory and provides 7 precision digits. These 7 precision digits include the decimal point, which has a range of 3.4 into 10 inverse 38 to 3.4 into 10 to the power 38, and double, which occupies 8 bytes of memory and have a precision digits of 14 including decimal sign, have a range of 1.7 into 10 to the power 10 to the power inverse 308 to 1.7 into 10 to the power 308. In single data type, one more data type, that is character data type. The character data type consists of ASCII characters, a character value which occupies 1 byte of memory. Now the values, I mean data types, the variables, I mean the container of the values, and now how formulas are created. So we use operator and operands. So various symbols used are known as operator and classified as arithmetical operator, relational operator, and logical operator. And the value or variables which are used in a statement are termed as operands. So with the help of operator and operand, an expression is constituted. An expression is a formula consisting of one or more operands and zero or more operators. Means an expression must have at least one operand. It may have operators, may not have operators, but it has mandatory to be with at least one operand. Now there are three types of operators are used to expressions. The number one is arithmetical operator. The arithmetical operator have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus or remainder. Apart from these five arithmetical operators, C programming language provide us two more operators, that is increment operator and decrement operator. Increment operator increments the value of integer variable, and decrement operator decrements the value of integer variable. In the sequence of operators, next comes relational operators, which constitutes the relational expressions, and these are less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and not equal to. If the equal to sign appears consecutively twice, it means it will act as a relational operator. Relational operator gives the result either positive, I mean true, or false. If the equal to sign appears single, it means it will act as an assignment operator, and the expression will be assignment expression. So these are relational operators and expressions. And the next one is logical operators, which are also used to construct complex relational expressions. And the logical operators are logical not, logical and, logical or. So these three are used to complex expressions, and logical operators also outputs either true or false. So these are all about the variables which contains values, the data types which are used as values, and the operators which are used to construct expressions. So now we will in next session discuss about input and output statements which helps us to destinate the values to the variables. So in next session we will meet. Thank you.